With the Mueller investigation's first trial now underway, President Trump and his lawyers seem to be cooking up a new defense slogan of their own. The president will hold, by the way, a campaign rally shortly down in Tampa, Florida. Let's go there. Our chief White House correspondent, Jim Acosta, is already on the scene for us. So, Jim, what's the latest?
Right. Well, President Trump is in Florida tonight to do some campaigning ahead of the midterm elections, but the president and his team are still busy trying to get their story straight on the Russia investigation. Mr. Trump is now echoing his lawyers who have gone from saying there was no collusion during the 2016 election to insisting that collusion is not a crime after all. Breezing past the cameras on his way to Florida, President Trump appears to have a new strategy for the Russia investigation. Ignore questions from reporters while spinning up a new defense where he's shielded from outside scrutiny. Tweeting collusion is not a crime. It's a notable leap from the president, who has repeatedly claimed there was no collusion with the Russians during the 2016 campaign.
There is no collusion. You know why? Because I don't speak to Russians.
There's been no collusion. There's been no crime.
I can only say this. There was absolutely no collusion. Everybody knows it. Every committee. There's no collusion. There was no collusion with Russia other than by the Democrats.
The president is now amplifying what his outside lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, said Monday.
I don't even know if that's a crime, colluding about Russians.
And another Trump attorney, Jay Sekulow, said today.
Well, that's not just technically correct. I mean, that's actually the law. But there's no violation of law, statute, rule, or regulation that we have seen after reviewing this case for a year. And I think Bob Mueller will come to the same conclusion.
Democrats aren't buying it.
I can't keep up with Rudy Giuliani's theories of defense, and they change almost by the hour. Collusion at one point never happened. At the next point, if it happened, it's not serious.
Weighed down by the Russia probe, the president is turning to issues popular with his base, threatening to shut down the government to make Congress pay for a border wall, insisting that's a very small price to pay, and tweeting, "I don't care what the political ramifications are." Even fellow Republicans are leery of a shutdown, with the midterm elections fast approaching.
I kind of see it as posturing, to be honest with you. It's an irresponsible thing to do, I think.
Mr. Trump's border policy is coming under increasing scrutiny, with an administration official admitting to Congress that the president's practice of separating children from undocumented migrants amounts to child abuse.
There's no question that separation of children from parents entails significant potential for traumatic psychological injury to the child.
One of the president's fellow hardliners on immigration, Chief of Staff John Kelly, appears to be sticking around. Sources confirm the president has asked Kelly to remain at his post until 2020, though CNN has learned the Chief of Staff wanted the story leaked to tamp down on reports that he could be on his way out. Mr. Trump arrives in Florida with the upcoming elections on his mind, throwing his support behind GOP gubernatorial candidate Ron DeSantis.
Build the wall.
He reads stories.
Then Mr. Trump said, "You're fired."
DeSantis appears in a new ad teaching his children how to build their own wall in a show of big league flattery.
Big league. So good.
The White House closed out the month of July without holding a briefing for reporters today. That means the White House has held only 3 briefings for the press this month and 8 total since the end of May. There is no other way to describe what the White House is doing these days. Wolf, top officials, including the president, are hiding from the press. And Wolf, just to give you a sense as to what's happening right now, you can hear there is a chorus of boos and other chants from this Trump crowd here in Tampa, Florida. They're saying things like CNN sucks, go home, and fake news. Wolf, obviously, all of those things are false. We're staying right here. We're going to do our job and report on this rally to all of our viewers here tonight. Wolf.
As you should. All right, Jim Acosta, we'll stay in very close touch with you. Thank you.